Hi, and welcome to NBA Economy Show. This is Fritz. Just coming with you with the latest breaking news. And what we have found out is Rokas Jokubaitis will be joining the Knicks for the Las Vegas Summer League. This is not his first time in Summer League. He was drafted in 2021 and he played in that Summer League. He hasn't come over to play in the NBA, and hopefully this is the time that he's going to actually stick in the NBA. Uh, this could this can affect the Knicks in several ways, but let's just go over a little bit about him. We see he's still relatively young. We drafted him in 2021, so he's 23 years old. He'll be 24 later in the year. 6'4", so he is actually taller than some of our like point guards, than all the point guards we have on our roster currently. He's more point guard, shooting guard. 6 years of EuroLeague experience. His numbers don't jump out at you. So six 6 points per game, 1.5 rebounds, 2.8 assists, but good shooting splits. So 48% field goals, 41% from three. One thing we can really say about his role, a lot of times when you're dealing with a lot of these players from overseas, they have a big role overseas, and then you try to get them to come to America and come off the bench. They might try it for a little bit, and then they go back. One thing about Rokas Jokubaitis, right now he has a small role on his current FC Barcelona team. So he averaged about 15 and a half minutes per game this year, slightly less last year. So I don't think being behind Jalen Brunson would be a problem. Um, it just probably changes what we are looking at in free agency. Because in free agency, we probably were looking at a backup point guard, and perhaps this is the reason the Knicks were holding off on completing their moves. We have a couple of roster spots available where we need a backup center, and we need a backup point guard. So maybe Jokubaitis will fill in that backup role, and I think it really comes down to I think he'll stick if the Knicks offer it to him. The Knicks have the money now with Isaiah Hartenstein not returning, and them completing the trade from Mikal Bridges the way they did. They have the money, so it's not going to be a situation where he wants to come over but we don't have the money or we don't have a spot for him. I think he's going to do well. Miguel P, hey, what's up? Um, so I think he's going to be. I think he has a real good spot shot at sticking. When it comes to the off season, I will say the Knicks. Uh, yeah, right now, looking at free agency right now, slim pickings for backup centers, and for free agency, we saw Um, Daniel Tice signed backup with the Clippers, I believe. So the backup center market is basically dry at this point. There's not a lot going on. Um, I did make a list of who is still available, names that we should be looking at. But with Jokubaitis, that kind of changes things because there's actually I put a lot of point guards and centers and players that are like tweeners who could play center. So like Tyus Jones would be an excellent backup. I don't think we can offer him a great deal. We do have our $5.2 million biannual exception, but a lot of teams do. Who basically, if we can offer him, a winning situation, perhaps he would stay. But the other ones, Markelle Fultz, Kyle Lowry, Patrick Beverly, Spencer Dinwiddie, those are for $5.2 million. I think you could definitely get one of those players. Gary Trent Jr. Would be more. I just have him up there just in the case he just couldn't find a home that we could probably offer a contract. As far as centers, we see there's not a lot of centers or even players here who are no way centers. Precious Achua, we had him play a little bit of a center role, and even Tibbs didn't think he was really a center. Jay Crowder's small forward, power forward. Mike Muscala, who's more of a stretch big, and Paul Reed, who a lot of people have been, ever since he's been cut, a lot of people have been talking about him. One, because he's skilled and he plays little center, but also he's also the guy who said that the Knicks were the weaker team. And and he's probably one of the last decent backup centers available. I'm still starting to question if the Knicks are working on a trade for a center, and what kind of moving parts is holding it up. Because at this point, you would really think it would be done now or even hear about it. Because how long could you actually keep something like that? That's all I have for now. If you have any questions, you could put it in the chat. Definitely excited about Jokubaitis. I really think this is the time for him to come over. If they feel confident enough in Kolek that if Jokubaitis, doesn't work out, Kolek can still step in, I can definitely see it happening. All right. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated as soon as I hear anything with this Jokubaitis news. That means that we're probably gonna get the Summer League roster soon. Summer League starts on Thursday, so that roster is complete or nearly complete. So that's gonna be comprised of Knicks players and players they just signed up. Okay, so I have a question. Miguel P, any chance we sign Precious using bird rights? Sign a player like Reed using a portion of the MLE, and Rokas using the pick exception. Okay, so so we can use Precious using bird rights. So we don't actually even need, we really don't have cap space. We're in the first apron. We can sign Precious at any point. We have that $5.2 million. Rokas he shouldn't have a pick exception. So Rokas would probably have to be signed using that 5.2. So the 5.2 would have to go to that a portion, at least a portion goes to Rokas. And the Knicks can always do a trade. Yeah, so looks like Rokas has to be signed as a free agent. Okay. Right. So if there's any other questions, I'm gonna double check that, but that's how I understand it. So if no one has any more questions, that's all I have for today. I'm going to update you guys as soon as I hear the Summer League rosters. I'll put that out there, and stay tuned, and salute to all who tuned in. All right, bye-bye.